welcome students to Factoring Special Cases, and this is the Difference of Squares video. The back of this, which is the sum and difference of cubes, will be a separate video. So the whole premise of this is that some polynomials follow a special format. These polynomials will always factor the same way. So we're going to look at a few of those special formats in these notes. If a polynomial looks like something squared minus something else squared, then that is called a difference of squares. So difference because it's subtraction, and squares because they're both squares. And here is the big format right there. So if you have something that looks like a quantity squared minus another quantity squared, then you're always going to factor it like this. You're always going to take the first quantity minus the second quantity, and then multiply that by the first quantity plus the second quantity. So I think it'll make more sense when you see some examples. So let's look at example 1. So we want to factor x squared minus 9. So first I want to rewrite that so that it looks like something squared minus something else squared. Well, the first one is obvious. X squared, that's x squared, of course. But what about 9? What squared will give us 9? Well, hopefully you got that in your head. 3 squared, so 3 squared, which is 3 times 3, that equals 9. So I'm going to write that as x squared minus 3 squared. Then I need to identify the a and b, so I need to identify what is being squared. So in this case, my a equals x, and my b, the a and b in the pattern, the b equals 3. So yay, I got my a and I got my b. Now I want to write the factors as shown above. So I'm going to take my a minus my b, and then multiply that by my a plus my b. So I'm going to put a, which in this case is x, minus my b, which is 3, and then a, which is x, then plus my b, which is 3. And there's my factors. And then remember to check with box method. So let's just make sure. If I take x minus 3 times x plus 3, let's just make sure that that's going to give me what I want. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. X times 3 is 3x. And 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. And notice that my like terms on the diagonal, 3x and negative 3x, they cancel each other out. So this leaves me with x squared minus 9, which is what my original polynomial was, and so it works. So let's try 2 and 4. We're going to do 2 and 4 together, and then you're going to try 3 and 5. So first step, rewrite in the form something squared minus something else squared. So I want to rewrite this. Something squared minus something else squared. So in this case, well, the x is easy. X squared is x squared. And then 4, well, 2 times 2 is 4. So I know if I put it 2 squared, that's going to give me the 4. So 2x squared is the same as 4x squared. And then for the 25, I know 5 times 5 is 25. So that must be 5 squared. Cool, got that. So now, step 2, identify the a and b, just like that. So what are my things that are being squared? So in this case, my a is 2x, and my b is 5. And then write the factors as shown above, so the a minus the b times a plus b. So a minus b, so 2x minus 5, and then a plus b. So 2x plus 5. So it looks like those are going to be my factors. And then I just want to check my work with box method. So let me check it over here. So I want to multiply them together and make sure that it works. So 2x minus 5, 2x plus 5. And then notice 10x and negative 10x are like terms that cancel each other out. So that leaves me with 4x squared minus 25, which is what I started with in the first place, so my factors worked. All right, example 4. So again, we're skipping 3 and 5 for the moment because I want you to try them yourself in just a minute. So example 4. So the first thing I want to do is rewrite in a squared minus b squared form if necessary. So just like we've been doing. So I want to write this as something squared minus something squared. So let's do the 16 first because that's easier. 4 times 4 is 16, so it must be 4 squared. And then I know I'm going to have a yz because they're both squared. And then 25, well 5 times 5 is 25, so 5yz squared. That must be it. So then step 2, identify the a and b. So identify what am I squaring each time. Well, here my a is 5yz and my b is 4. And then I'm going to write my factors as a minus b and a plus b. So a minus b. So I'm going to have 5yz minus 4. And then 5yz plus 4. And there's my factors. And then I want to check it. So I'm going to check. I'm going to make this box a little bigger because I have more to write this time. So 5yz minus 4, 5yz plus 4. And then notice my like terms on the diagonal cancel each other out because I have positive 20 and negative 20. Bam. Which leaves me with 25y squared z squared minus 16, which is what I started with. So yay, my factoring worked. So there is 3 and 5 worked out completely. So go ahead and take a moment to check that. And I've shown you also how I check my work. And thank you for watching.